Shohei Ohtani's record-setting $700 million contract to play baseball in Los Angeles has a key element to its structure. The Dodgers won't actually begin paying his salary, $680 million of it, until 2034. And they won't finish paying him what they owe until 2043. Salary deferments aren't new. What's new is the amount of money involved in Ohtani's contract and the scale of its financial implications for taxes, inflation, and the Dodgers. Let's talk about Ohtani's deferred millions. Every July 1st, the New York Mets pay former third baseman Bobby Bonilla $1.2 million because his agent and the Mets front office agreed to defer $30 million of his salary over a 25-year period beginning in 2011. Amazingly, Bonilla is going to be 72 years old when the Mets finish paying him what he's owed. But that's not all. The Orioles owe him $500,000 in deferred salary until 2028. Suffice it to say, Bonilla has had plenty of cash flow since he retired from baseball in 2001. And he's not the only one. The Mets still pay Brett Saberhagen, the Red Sox still pay Manny Ramirez, but what the Dodgers owe Ohtani, $680 million over one decade, is as big as the Green Monster. Where Ohtani lives is going to have huge tax implications. The state of California will take 14.4% of his income unless he establishes residency in a state like Florida or Texas where there is no income tax. Alternatively, Ohtani might live in Los Angeles during his 10-year contract, in which case the state of California gets a cut of his endorsement deals, but once he no longer plays for LA, Ohtani could take off just as his deferred salary is due. The California Republic would love for baseball's biggest star to stay put and pay up after his career is over, but I'd be very surprised if that happens. Initial press reports had Ohtani signing with the Toronto Blue Jays, and without knowing anything about those negotiations, you can be sure his legal team considered tax liabilities in that country. Canada and Japan both have higher tax rates than the United States, and Ontario, the province where the Blue Jays play, has a higher tax rate than California. Where you live matters. 9 American states don't impose income taxes. Others have low property tax or no sales tax. High earners have strong incentives to avoid the tax man in states like California, Illinois, and New York. For the richest athletes, it makes awfully good sense to establish residency in a place like Florida. Shohei Ohtani is unlikely to see galloping inflation when he gets paid 97% of his contract between 2034 and 2043, but the value of that money is going to be partially eroded. Assuming a 2 to 3% rate of inflation, which has been typical for the United States since the mid-1980s, the Dodgers' first payment to him of $68 million will be 20 to 30% less valuable than it is now. When the Dodgers make their final payment, the cumulative rate of inflation is likely to be between 50 and 60%. That is, unless another period of high inflation, like the one during the 1970s, occurs. Those millions of dollars will buy plenty of goods and services in 2043, but not as many as they do now. Inflation played a role in the size of the mega contract. Another factor is simply that Ohtani wanted a team capable of winning. Had the Dodgers paid their star most of his money up front, it would have shackled the team to a massive contract and constrained their ability to go after other free agents. Ohtani knows his deferred salary put the Dodgers in a good position to make big moves, like acquiring his countryman, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, and paying him a huge salary without deferred money. Long-term deals do go bust. Albert Pujols' 10-year deal with the Anaheim Angels did not pay off. The slugger delivered some value to his team before subpar play actively hurt it, and all the while his long-term contract consumed payroll and constrained the Angels' ability to sign a premium pitcher. The Dodgers ownership group, the Guggenheim Group, isn't sentimental about sports. Sure, the owners want championship rings because those things are good for business. But first and foremost, they want the value of Japan, the world's second largest baseball market. Having 2 Japanese megastars in North America is good for their revenue streams. Lots of Japanese eyeballs want to see what happens in LA alongside everyone else in the United States. A final comment has to do with luxury taxes. Major League Baseball imposes a competitive balance tax on teams with payrolls that exceed a certain amount. In 2023, it was $233 million. The league does provide a discount for deferred contracts, but most of Ohtani's contract will count towards the team's annual payroll, which means the combined cost of Ohtani, Yamamoto, Freddie Freeman, and Mookie Betts is going to be well over $100 million annually. Luxury taxes are in the Dodgers' future. More than ever, legal advice is indispensable. Where one lives, when one gets paid, all of it matters. In the comments section, I'm curious what you think of Ohtani's contract and what its long-term implications are. And thanks for watching.